Yo, what's up, YouTube? Peace, positivity, self-awareness, and motivation. Guys, today I really want to talk about music. In specific, this was inspired by Drake's recent album. I listened to it, and I am a Drake fan. And some good stuff, man. It's some good stuff. But that got me thinking. I was listening to the album. I said, you know, some good songs in here. Drake's really done his thing for the past 10 years or so. And then I started to think back to old artists, old songs, right? And I want to talk about how music changes once you become RP aware. Specifically music, because a whole lot of things change. But one thing that's never really talked about is how music changes, right? The RP has a weird impact on a lot of different types of areas in your life. And when I say RP, and this is your first time listening to this and hearing that concept, it's basically truth, right? The truth about women, the truth about female nature, understanding that what was painted to a lot of us about relationships, about love, right? That the good guy gets the girl, that the nice guy gets the girl, that all you have to do is be the good, nice guy. Really, it's the nice guy. And all your dreams will come true as far as your romantic fantasies, which, you know, we don't really deal with that any much in the RP community because, you know, we don't believe in romance, right? Romance is a fantasy. It exists, but it's a fantasy, right? Not something you should base a relationship on, not something you should take seriously as a man. When you learn these things, that women are attracted to men who stand up for themselves, when you learn that women are attracted to men who they find as alpha, right? They're attracted to these masculine men and not these men that society tries to make you to be, tries to turn you into. Then you realize that like there's this other side of life that kind of opens up to you an understanding and knowledge, which is RP. Really bad explanation that I just gave, guys. I give more details in other videos, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about music. When you become RP aware, it really affects a lot of things. And one of those things is music. I remember when I first kind of started to understand the RP, right? I couldn't listen to certain songs, man. There's some songs that I remember I used to have in my playlist on my Spotify, going back to them and listening to those songs. You know, these would be like your romance, usually kind of like R&B songs. And guys, I was in a band for like 2 years right out of college. Believe it or not, I was in an indie alternative rock band. So I did everything from like rock, country, you know, folk, all that type of stuff. And then also a singer-songwriter, obviously. So I got into like R&B, Afro beats. You know, I'm from the motherland. So I got into that. You know, so I've been well-versed in all different types of genres of music. And I'm here to confirm that country music, which I never really got into, the closest I got into that was like folk music. Country music is the most simp music you're ever going to find in this world, right? So I can only imagine what somebody who used to listen to country music does after they discover the RP, because it's just a bunch of like simp stuff. You know, you have these guys singing about like, oh, where she go? I miss her. Da, da, da. These guys are just singing their asses off about women, right? About missing women. Same thing in R&B, man. It's just a lot of like older R&B music, even some of the new stuff is more blue pilled centered. Right? There's this idea that you're fighting for the girl. You know, they got the music videos there. The dudes are dancing in the rain, all types of beta stuff, right? The new shit though, the new shit kind of crazy. You know what I mean? These niggas don't give a fuck today, man. You know, they talk crazy a little bit. And I can kind of get down with some of that stuff, man. And I appreciate it because a lot of the music that I used to listen to, and especially like in the like going towards like the rock genre, older R&B type stuff, too simp, man, too simp. And once you're RP aware, you just can't take that stuff seriously anymore, right? You just can't. You can't, because you know that's not the way life works. You don't get the girl by singing about how much you love her. You don't get the girl by waiting on her and crying for her and drinking a bottle of whiskey or, you know what I mean, begging for her to come back. Because a lot of these songs, man, it's dudes begging for the girl to come back. Oh, why'd you leave me? Why'd you cheat on me? And I could not do it anymore. Even Drake, as much as I appreciate a lot of his music, I'm a big fan, probably one of my one of my favorite rappers first would be like Kendrick Lamar, then maybe like Rick Ross, and then Drake, man. As far as like modern day active rappers, I'll still consider Kendrick active even though he hasn't released an album. Well, yeah, he just did that song, right? He just did that song with like Family Ties. But anyways, they say music's coming soon. But most times, man, I'll listen to some songs from a lot of even current artists, and I'll sit there and be like, man, I can't listen to this. I can't take this seriously. There is something that the RP does that just changes the way you see the world, especially when it comes to music. And I end up finding myself like when I'm working out or in my day-to-day stuff, it's like I'll gravitate towards like the hip hop and like kind of like harder shit, because there's just certain sounds I cannot listen to anymore. Shit, I'll be hanging out with the chick, man. You should hear the shit that like women listen to. When I have a girl and I'm like kicking it with her and I let her play music and I hear what she's listening to, I'm like, my gosh, it's just this romantic fantasy, just lovey-dovey shit, man. And it never ends. It's just so unrealistic from real life. Like, what is it within us that wants us to believe that that's how life works? It's like, yeah, it would be nice, right? That the better you treat a woman, the more that she loves you, the more that she wants you. It would be nice that if you buy her all the flowers in the world and make her the center of your attention and spend all your time focused on her, yeah, that she falls in love with you. But of course, it's impractical. It's like, do you really want men to be that way? Do you want men to put focus on women, right? How do we ever get anything done? How do we ever come up with new innovations in technology, right? Men weren't made to have women as their focus. It makes sense. And R&B music, a lot of that older stuff and some of the newer stuff, I know keeps men simps. It just does, right? And music wasn't the only thing that like was affected from RP. I remember movies, man. Certain movies, like you can't even watch movies the same once you are RP aware, especially like rom-coms and things like that. Like I find myself avoiding those type of movies. And then I'll be watching a movie and I realize like, man, in every movie, they have to put some sort of romantic plot to it. And sometimes I wonder like, man, why do they have to do this? And it's better when it's like an action movie, because then it's more realistic. You've got the guy there and, he's not really into the girl like that because he's like this. What's a good example for that? I would say like John Wick. When you watch John Wick, he's not like super infatuated with the women in his lives, and like 007, you know what I mean? Some of those more masculine characters, I can appreciate that. I can get down with that. But the romance comms, man, and all these like kind of modern day movies where these guys are falling in love with these women and the whole plot is to get this woman to come back to them, or they're trying to win her love. Can't do it. And I know maybe you feel the same way, right? I know maybe you've experienced the same thing. You probably have bands that you used to listen to or music that you have to listen to with a grain of salt. Till this day, I don't get how people can listen to country who are RP aware, at least. Some of the softest shit in the world. Listen, there's some good, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I think the stuff that I consider country is probably not country to other people, right? It's probably more like folk music, which I can appreciate that. I was raised up in a very musical family, so I appreciate different types of genres. But I just don't get how someone can listen to country and still be RP aware, because, most of it's like that kind of, blue beta pill type stuff, man. I even remember there was an episode of Patrice O'Neal on Black Phillip's show where they talk about this. They talk about how like sappy country music is, how it could get really, really bad when he starts heading towards that direction. So you have these guys who are just like drinking bottles of whiskey and crying over women who they couldn't get, right? Or women who left them. Ridiculous, man. So yeah, how do you guys cope with it? I'm really curious to find out. Are there artists that you used to listen to that you just can't listen to anymore? If I can think of an artist that I still go back to once in a while, but I just can't sit there and like listen to songs like over and over again, is Coldplay, right? I used to be a huge Coldplay fan. But nowadays, man, too blue pill. because a lot of their songs are like, you know, these love songs, and they're like begging to women and crying to them. But talented artists, man, good guys. So I know that you probably go through the same thing, and this isn't talked about much. So I'm curious, man. Let me know. Have you guys dealt with this before? Are there artists that you used to listen to, man, and now you're kind of like, nah, man, I don't do that anymore, or I can't watch a certain type of movies? And let me know what you thought of the Drake new album that just dropped. At the end of the day, man, the RP is supposed to make your life better, right? It's supposed to help you find balance as a man, help you tap into your masculinity and appreciate that side of you, right? You embrace that alpha mentality. You're a man who lives with intention, and you go out, you compete, and you sacrifice, you know, and you realize that, hey, the greatest battle you're ever going to fight is that is within you. That battle against self, caring too much about what people think, being your true self, going out and living your dreams, being your own man, right? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. Let me know what type of songs or artists you just cannot stand anymore after you became RP aware and you just can't do it. Let me know what you thought of the Drake album. Hey guys, peace, positivity, self-awareness, motivation. My name is Chisha Zed. Until next time, I'm out.
And
Peace.
if you can, please enjoy the show.
I'm a walking Liberty Bell, freedom ring through my stride, freedom to be inside, and be a slave to my pride, and right away to scream, man, this love's so serene, I should probably shake it up just a little.